is, okay? So, although we were transparent, we were sometimes a bit last minute with our meetings, and our offers for transparency were appreciated but not often used. But still, all of the goals I set, I reached, so 100% there. Then develop the dynamic local presidents community. Wonderful picture of our presidents community. So, what were the tasks? Managing the Facebook group, how to president call, the community weekends, the approachable, being approachable mentor, etc. Oh, sorry, being a bit too fast here. So, I managed a Facebook group from the community. I held monthly presidents calls. I only had to cancel 2, I think. Then we had 2 community weekends, which actually most of the work was done by Sophie. But I did do some of the presentations and stuff like that, and I think it was quite a good collaboration, but still kudos to Sophie, thank you very much for that. I feel like I was an approachable mentor. That was my aim, that the presidents feel like they can contact me if they have issues. That was very important, and it would be between me and them. And then we actually had our President's Afternoon. Thank you so much, Nino and Beauty, for organising the one yesterday. I really enjoyed the first one on the NP1, and then NP2 we blended it with the International Afternoon, which was pretty cool. So all in all, I think 100% work on the local presence community. We can still work on the participation, but that's something that we'll talk about in our community. Then analyze the current progress of the 3-year strategy, make adjustments if required, and ensure the continuation of the pursuits of the goals. What did I do about the 3-year strategy? Did I analyze the progress? Well, I did adapt the action plans, but we didn't make any adjustments during the mandate, and only so basically. To be more precise here, I feel like I only did 50% of my job on the 3-year strategy. We were so busy doing stuff during the semester, or during our mandate, that I did not really. We checked the 3-year strategy at the beginning, we looked where it was, and we wrote our action plans according to that. That's why I have adapting action plans, and with analyzing the progress a question mark, so it's like half done. But actually, we didn't do a follow-up during the semester. I blame myself for that, but that's something that we can do after the NP and have a look at where we're at, because there's going to have to be a new 3-year strategy as well. Finally, also develop 1 minute. Okay. Develop an ESN package for sections and stakeholders, demonstrating what the ESN's offer and value is. So the ESN package, what have we done? Framework and data collection is done. I have found a task force. It is called Olivia. She's doing amazing work. Then team feedback and more data. We need more people to fill in our survey, please. So there's going to be a presentation on the ESN package anyway on tomorrow. And the ESN package at NP2 was a goal in my action plan that was not achieved. We did make progress until NP2, but it wasn't finished by NP2. So I'm just going to move that to probably NP1 or NP2. I'll write it in my new action plan if I am re-elected. Basically, I will be talking about the ESN package later on, so I'm not be spending too much time there. I feel like that goal was about 66% achieved. AOB, any other business, and I'm going to really go through this really fast. I don't want to steal time with my other guys. So, stuff that I did do on my action plan is I worked a lot, not 10% as much as Nina and Sophie, but I worked on ESN review. I went through quite a few CNRs, more than I expected, but it was very interesting. Then advocacy. We did a lot of work, Nina and myself. Beauty as well, with universities, with different kinds of associations. I think Nina will talk about it in its updates more. Then we did a lot of work with EIE, which is really awesome. I have new updates about EIE since last week. I even did it during my business trip. Then really cool new negotiations with Responsible Party. I'm really happy. They wanted to come this weekend, but they couldn't. But I think they will definitely come to the next MP. Yes, it's going really well. And then Lugano has been something I worked on a lot as well. We're still working on it, work in progress. And then I've been working on SOS guidelines and templates. We really want to make stuff more clearer and give and really make transitions easier and the knowledge transfer better. So main learnings and regrets. I'm running out of time. Gantt charts are difficult to upkeep. Our SOS might need a polish. Knowledge transfer needs attention. Really does. We had to do some stuff last minute because we were not aware. Concept notes are great. We love it. Getting feedback is hard but vital, so please guys do give us feedback. It's quite difficult to get feedback from the network if you like or don't like what we're doing, so it's really vital that you do it because we want to be doing what you want us to be doing. We think our ideas are great, but we don't know if you do. And then we should discuss section requirements. This is a very important thing. And it's possible for us, the NB, to be better prepared for this stuff. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you for being you to my NB. And thank you for tolerating me and making me happy, especially last NP with her costume. Thank you for trusting us and for making me proud to call myself your president.
They're all going to be great presentations. Can we please stick to this? Sorry. Also, thank you for the very long and detailed presentation. But please, and the rest of the presenters stick to 5, not 10 minutes.
That's a bad.
Sorry. Also, if you have questions for Theo, there will be a question round after President, Treasurer, NR, and Vice NR. So if you have any questions, please write them down.
Hi guys. So I'm Kevin, your National Treasurer. So I'm going to present you my action plan of the year. So my first objective was financial stability, which I think I reached. Well, I maintained financial stability for the year. We made a small overall loss of 200 Swiss francs, which is okay. Then accounting, well, it was kept updated and consistent. We're still under audit, so we're going to have confirmation soon. But up until now, I'm quite happy about it. Then guidelines. I wanted to create some guidelines for financial purposes. For example, for intersection events, or for participation fee of the NB during NPs, which we did. So I'm quite happy about this. So we could have done some more, so that's why it's not 100%, but I'm quite happy about it. Then we set up a new approach for the Movetia grant. Basically, if you don't know, Movetia is the agency funding ESN. And we ask a grant every year to them. And this year we want to ask for more. So with the National Board, we prepared a new approach to do this. It's almost ready. We just need the audit report then to send it to them. So quite happy about this as well. Something we already talked about during the year, by the way. European grants. Well, there I'm not so happy about the outcome, sorry. We contacted other ESN countries to know about European grants. For example, we had contact with ESN Serbia, but we did not apply for any yet, because there are some grants we could get, but we did not apply. So that's, half. Foundations. Basically, I had the project to explore, the landscape for foundations this year. Sadly, I did not have the time to do this extra work properly, so I only had a look, but I did not really apply or contact any of them, sadly. Well, I had some events. The last events I joined was NP Geneva. Sadly, I could not go to BFC and NGM. I have some ideas for the next NB actually, so foundations, because well, we can get a lot of money there, so it's really important if we can contact them, try to know them better. There is a lot of money out there. Also, it would be nice to have some collaboration with professional partners to do, for example, workshops. Then it could lead maybe to better employability for the network, even internship opportunities, and finally be involved as much and with the EAIE conference in Geneva next September. It's super important. It's super great for visibility. So let's put all our effort there. Then, well, I would like to thank the whole National Board for this year. Thanks for the memories, guys. It was just a delight spending time with you. Thanks, Kamel, for joining the National Board during the year. You worked a lot with us, especially during CND. So thanks, Kamel. Thanks all you guys for being so awesome and helpful. Well, soon we're going to have Titanic Lemanic. And well, that leads to an important question I have for someone here. Olivia, I have a question. No, it's a great one. You were kind of the highlight of my year, especially now that you're running as treasurer. So I hope you will make me the honor to marry me. So, yeah. Thank you guys.
Objection.
Get the fuck down in this presentation.
Thank you, Kevin, for being on time. Olivia, do you accept? Okay. Maybe to explain to those who don't know, it's not a real marriage.
Whoa, don't know that.
It's just a fake thing. Next up is Sophie. Again, if you have questions for Kevin, please write them down.
Hello again, it's me. So, I am the national representative. That's a bit of an obscure position title. So basically, I am the link between the local and the international level of ESN. If I have to summarize my year in a word, it was group pictures, because I had so many of them this year. I attended a lot of events on behalf of ESN Switzerland to represent you guys, to train you guys, to report to you. It was a lot of fun. Usually I go on about all the events I attended at the NP, but last NP was not that long ago. In between, I went to Create NCNR and AGM, which I will extensively talk about in my international updates presentation. So for this presentation, I'll just stick to action plan completion. So my action plan was divided into 3 parts. The first thing I wanted to focus on was to strengthen the local representative community, the international communication between the national representative and the sections, and I wanted to properly represent ESN Switzerland. So going to the first point of developing the LR community, so LR stands for local representative. I wanted to put into place a training weekend for LRs, which we used to be something like that, but then it wasn't really done again in the past years. And so we had 2 beautiful editions of the so-called community weekend. That weekend was mainly targeted at local representative and presidents to train them for their semester, but we had a lot of other people joining. It has been some really good times, I think, useful. We had some nice feedback. So I think for that one, the goal was achieved. Of course, there is room for improvement, and that is something we need to keep working on, but I think as a start, these were some pretty good events. And then the second point was to create an international community of people who would be up to date with the international topic discussions and who could share their opinions and have debates and discussions about them. So the idea there was to create a Slack channel, the hashtag strategic team, and there were 36 people on it, which is a honorable number. However, in terms of like exchanges and discussions, this was a little bit of a one-way channel, so it was more me posting and then getting a few reactions. We didn't get really into the heart of discussions with a lot of people reacting. I had the feedback that Slack is maybe not the best channel for that, not the best platform, because people don't really check on it. So I would say that was not 100% success. It was a good start, but maybe for next year we need to rethink this. Third one was to write guidelines for local representatives, because people usually don't know what the local representative is. So I wrote this document, we discussed about it during the community weekend, got the approval from the network, so that is done. It still needs to be disseminated, and of course it can be changed and adapted, because that's a kind of position where, depending on the section, it always changes a little bit. Then another thing about, so I jumped to internet communication already. I wanted to try and implement a consultation tool to make sure that I can really relay your opinion when I go to international meetings and not just my own or just my needs. And so the Slack channel was for that. Also tried to introduce some Skype calls before each CNR, which we did. There was not a lot of participation, but still I got some good input from here. I think that's a good start, but there is room left for improvement, of course. Another point was to share international updates after my meetings, and so this I did by writing some reports, which I sent by email. I always did the international update presentation during the national platform, so I think for this point, this was filled in. And then the third topic which was representing ESN Switzerland. Very important, wanted to keep the people informed and bring their opinion, and in particular, and that was even written in my action plan about the ESN review, which was this very important process of this year. So we talked about it during the community weekends. We had some quite extensive discussions. We also had small sessions and presentations during the national platforms. There was this document which I wrote with mostly Nino during for Council of National Delegates December, and I made the Google Doc and I got a lot of input from you guys, so that was very nice, and that's something I told to be kept in the future. And I also put a lot of effort into preparing the delegation for the annual general meeting Costa Brava, so there was an afternoon presentation before the NP, a pretty long document, and I think this overall worked out very well. It's not completely finished because we're still a CNR, but hopefully it will be finished. Then another point which I took from the previous strategy was about representing non-European Union countries, and actually this wasn't really relevant for this year, especially because most of the discussion at the international level were more ESN review oriented, so I would say this was just not too relevant to be in the NR action planning. For the future, there's a couple of things I think can be improved. For the community we can communicate better about it, have some other local board member joining and at least one person from each section. For the NR community, very important, get a local representative in your section if you don't have it. Improve the communication. We are going to do something with vice president and communication manager, and we'll have some kind of newsletter. Keep the AGM preparation and have a training session, Skype session, welcome for new local representative. Keep representing Switzerland opinion on the international level because you have excellent points to raise. And also just one thing, use tracking tools, make sure that people actually open the emails that you send, make sure people click on the links because otherwise it's not really worth the effort of spending a lot of time on it. I don't have any cute pictures for the end of my presentation. I didn't know you were gonna do that, but so I had a very nice year with you guys and like national board, but also all of you. It was very nice because I got to interact with you a lot. All these events was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things, and thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you, Sophie. I've given up on the clapping thing. You can clap. Next up, Vice National Representative Kamal.
Guten Morgen. So I'm Kamal. I'm the Vice National Representative, which means I'm basically the personal assistant of Sophie. You didn't see me the first semester, you just saw me the second semester because I got appointed by the National Board as an extended board position for 1 semester. So I'm quite going to repeat exactly what Sophie said, and so I'll do it quickly. One of the first thing I had to do was more about the dissemination of everything Sophie just said before, especially about the ESN review and being sure that the people that are joining the process in the middle are still aware of what is happening. So it was more for newbies or for people that couldn't attend events such as the community weekend or other NPs, for example. Same for other CNR topics, a bit less than the ESN review because Sophie is taking more care of this, but still going on. We just started the email updates of the international level just to see who saw the first email I sent last week about the great. Cool. So we're going to continue on this, probably make it a bit different, but still trying to continue on this way. And yeah, and through this, these emails, giving you the opportunity to be aware of where and what are the international events and make sure that you can join them if you're interested. So I'm at 99% of this, which I'm quite proud of. Then LR community. So we've already talked a bit about this. I'm on this picture, but you don't see me because I'm behind the camera. So what was the point of this? First one, really understand what are the LR's needs, what they want to do, what are their capacity to do it. We had a few discussions on it. I think it was very, very useful. Create document on LR's requirements and right. We kind of did it. Sophie presented you just the document before. Still has to be a bit improved, and as she said, to be disseminated to the network. We were thinking about summary videos. We didn't do it. We have to still think if it's useful or not. We were working first on the emails. That's why we didn't do it. And pre-CNR's fun calls with the LRs and with Sophie if she wants to attend or not. This was supposed to be my job. I did it for Belgrade, didn't do it for AGM because we had the AGM preparation for the people that were going there, and I think we're gonna do it for Crete, probably. You want to do it for Crete? Yes, no, okay, perfect. So probably we're gonna do it. So as I said, now it's time for dissemination on documents and work on the future about summary videos and stuff like that. That's why it's not that much done, but it's on the process. So yeah, idea in the end was to empower the LRs. Finally, as Vice NR, I'm not just an assistant. Hopefully, I have the privilege to go to international level events. So going to CNR Crete in May, following pretty much everything with the ESN Live, especially AGM because I couldn't attend the AGM, so I went there. I went to a training event, a study session basically about LGBTQI+, which was really interesting. I'm not going to develop everything here, just for you to understand that this is something we should a bit work on. If you have any question or anything, you can still come to me, and I would be really happy to talk to you about this. And I'm going to probably make a flip chart that can summarize a bit what I did there, so you can still read it during GNP. Maybe, probably not sure, going to NP Germany to still see what is happening in other and bigger countries. And a bit in contact with ESN Serbia. We're thinking what we can do together, especially for next year's. So quite a good job in the international level. I'm going to continue on this probably. To conclude, beautiful stuff. I'm going to be fast. Yeah, so I was just appointed by the NB in the beginning of the semester. My job basically was to read and read again, to prepare flip charts, to give small sessions and workshops, especially during community weekend and the NP Geneva. So all this for the dissemination of information, understand the LR needs, then AGM with the live, enjoy it with the streaming, that was amazing. And work on the international updates with Sophie, and here we are at NP3. So personally, I learned a lot about ESN international and the national level, which gave me the opportunity to really have a strong opinion on different topics. I learned how to disseminate this information, and now the future is about to empower the sections on this information, and I'm really happy that someone will do it probably next year. And to finish, that's fine. So I think now what is really important, as I said, again, is to build really an LR community, or at least empower the section on the topic, on the international topics. Think about the after ESN review, what is going to happen now, and where we want to go as a Swiss network. We had kind of an idea that the Vice NR could take care of the community weekends, right? So this might be very interesting, so more training-oriented position, which is great. And definitely, I would really recommend this position as a one-year mandate, because one semester is definitely not enough to implement everything we want to implement. So please apply for this position very soon. Here I am. You have my email. You have my name if you want to add me on Facebook as well. I could write my Instagram also if you want to. Finished.
Okay, so like Kevin, Sophie, Theo, and Kamel at the front. We now have approximately 6.5 minutes for questions because the presentations were slightly longer than planned until coffee break, and then we will go to coffee break downstairs. The OC will lead us, right, sir? Yes, okay. I would like to open the speakers list for any of these 4 presentations, unless it's about a topic that will have a specific presentation today or tomorrow. Please. Do you ask questions? Yes, I don't want to discourage you, just ask them at the right time. Stefan. Mike.
Stephanie, ESN Bern. I have a question for Kevin. You mentioned the point that you would like to improve our employability. So I think that's a very important point, because I think nowadays we have ESN on our CV, but no one really knows what network it is, so it doesn't mean anything if you have, even if you're very much engaged. So how will you work on that, or how will you propose a further person to work on that topic?
Thank you, Stephanie. Really good question. Actually, I had the idea at NBM Vienna because I was talking with ESN Greece, and what they were doing actually, they were inviting, let's say, corporate partners to come to NP and propose workshop for free. So basically, for the corporation, that was a nice way to do what they call CSR, corporate social responsibility. And for ESN, there was also added value for the members to have professional teaching you something. And then that leads to potential partnerships, maybe where we can do even internships for that. That's more on the long term, actually, but I think already to invite some partners to come to NP and do workshops for free, I think that's possible. And that should be done from my perspective. Is that enough as an answer?
Yeah.
So question to Kevin for Zach, yes, and Junelo, I don't know. Question for Kevin. You spoke about European grants. Did you really find European grants available for Swiss organization? And second question, did you find other grants possible from Swiss administration that we could access?
Okay, so for European grants, we talked about this with ESN Serbia. Why ESN Serbia? Because they're not in Europe as well. And I don't remember the name of the grant, I'm sorry. ESA, yeah, I think, oh yeah, well there is one from the alumni of ESN, for example, that we can access, that they did application for that. That was one of the things I wanted to do as well. Sadly, well, I did not have the time to do extra NB work, but that's one of the possibility. Regarding the Swiss one, no, I did not find concrete grants yet, but well, I'm pretty sure that we have such a large scope of foundation here in Switzerland, and they give a lot of money for those kind of, let's say, social projects or education projects. But no, I don't have like a particular foundation in mind right now. We use Loterie Romande, for example, a lot of times for events. So that's already in place. For example, we did that for CN. Well, Ben did that for CND. That would be nice to keep going on, but no, I don't have a proper other concrete solution yet.
Okay. Any more questions? Questions are welcome. No? Okay. Then I propose to close the speakers list, and the speakers list is closed. Thank you, everybody. We may go to the there's a theme throughout the coffee break, so keep up with that. So the coffee break is until 10:50, so that's about 20 minutes. Coffee break is downstairs. Please be back at 10:50. Thank you guys. You can leave your stuff here. It's fine.
Jens, do you leave the streaming on during the break?
I can turn it off for now, it's fine.
I mean, I don't mind.
I mean, I'm gonna test the stream during the break, so if you don't mind, then I will keep it here.
Yeah, sure. Awesome, thanks.